The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Today we're breaking down the film from the Jets' loss to the Bucs. Joe Blewett will join us for that. And the Jets have just made a trade moments ago. We'll tell you about that. And Quincy Williams is headed to IR. The latest on the Jets. Let's do it. It's the Jake Asman Show, and it starts right now.
There's no such thing as moral victories when it comes to us. Everyone says same old Jets. I hate that term, and I really don't know what that term means. They're not the same old Jets. We're 0-3. Make sure you look at the game.
The 2025 New York Jets season is officially here. Can Aaron Glenn lead the team back to the playoffs and finally deliver on the promise this roster has shown? Every step of the journey, the Jake Asman Show will have you covered, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go. Here on a Tuesday, show number 2 on the day. If you missed the first one, Robbie Sabo was with us in his weekly spot. Click the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And oh yeah, reminder, this show that you're watching live is available in podcast form. Wherever you get your podcasts, Apple or Spotify, just search Jake Asman Show, and you could find the entire YouTube show in audio form. Let's say hello to the great Joe Blewett, Jet X film analyst, in his weekly spot. Joe, before we get to some film, we have not one but two significant Jets news to break down. Let's start with the bad. The bad being Quincy Williams was placed on injured reserve, meaning he's missing at least the next 4 games. We know he went down with the injury in the game Sunday, and it turns out it's going to be an injury that is not season-ending the way it's being described, but definitely going to keep him out at least 4 games. What was your initial reaction to that?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because they don't really have depth there, right? Like the Jets have talent at quite a few spots, but the depth, as we can see, the defensive line with JJ being out, and at linebacker, it's not good. Maui Noah had some good plays last week, but past that, Ball has been terrible. Is Zaire Barnes on the practice squad? I don't even know where he's at right now. So I don't know what they're going to do in terms of replacing Quincy. Hopefully it's a thing where they're going to play a lot more, big nickel and play a lot more dime. And they don't stick 3 linebackers on the field at all. But yeah, it hurts. Quincy's a volatile player, but obviously, better than guys like Ball, et cetera.
The other move they made in regards to the linebacker, hold on, let me find it. There it is. This is from Rich Samini's Twitter account. You see on the screen, they poached Mark Robinson, who's a linebacker off the Patriots squad. And when you add someone off someone else's practice squad, you got to put them on the roster. So it appears like this would be the corresponding move here for Quincy going on IR, being out 4 games. I don't know much about Mark Robinson. I don't know if you do either, but they need depth at that position because you're right. They're very thin at linebacker. And this was with Quincy out there. It's not like they were getting great linebacker play this year from him in Sherwood.
Yeah, Ball's a special teamer. Robinson's a special teamer. So the really only guy you have is Maui Noah, and he's a 5th-round pick who's barely played. So they're lacking there. It's undoubtedly going to hurt them. Quincy's their best blitzer at in general on the team, obviously past the defensive line. So it's going to hurt them. But realistically, hey, I guess let's see what we got in the young guys, because most likely Quincy's not going to be here anyway. But obviously it hurts, right? September 23rd, your best linebacker is now going to be out for at least a month. So definitely not ideal.
And then we have a trade, ladies and gentlemen. The Jets have made a move. They acquired Titans cornerback Jarvis Brownley Jr. and a 2026 7th-round pick for their own 2026 6th-rounder. So once again, Darren Muji making a deal. It involves a 6th-round pick. And here's what we know about Jarvis Brownley Jr. This is from Connor Hughes. He's played primarily outside corner the last 2 years with Tennessee. He did kick inside for 109 snaps in 2024. He's allowed 8 completions on 10 targets for 59 yards and a touchdown so far this season, allowed 55 catches on 81 targets and 4 touchdowns in 2024, according to Pro Football Focus. Penalties are an issue with him, called for 9 last year and 3 already this season. really good run defender, according to PFF, a 77.7 mark in 2024 and an 83.5 mark this season. So, Joe, your initial reaction to Trader Darren acquiring another player. He acquires Jarvis Brownley from Tennessee.
Just what you want to hear about a corner, right? Good run defender. Yeah, but no, it's interesting. Like, are they going to now move Brandon Stevens to safety? Is Tony Adams more injured than we think, and now Stevens going to take over that spot, and Malachi Moore is still going to be a backup or playing like that big nickel role? But the thing is, like Azareye'h Thomas, he played relatively well in limited snaps last week. So is it not him? Is this a depth move? Is Thomas the depth guy? So maybe this is showing that again, Tony Adams is more injured than we think, and Stevens is in a move to safety, which after 3 games is pretty wild considering how much money he got. But something's obviously going on. I don't think you're just going to trade for like depth that's just going to sit on the bench the entire time. So played over 900 snaps last year, played most of the snaps this year as well for the Titans. So it looks like I got another breakdown to do.
We have even more breaking news to react to here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of crazy to have this much happening all at once. Another Jets move. Marcelino McCrary Ball placed on injured reserve with a hamstring injury. This injury occurred in the game Sunday. So that means if he's going on IR, he's out a minimum of 4 games. So you lose 2 linebackers in the same game, and they're both out at least 4 weeks. So now kind of makes sense. The 2 roster spots that are now curated by Quincy and Ball going on injured reserve, they're now filled by Jarvis Brownley Jr. and Mark Robinson, who was the linebacker they poached from New England's practice squad. But Ball is down. I know he was not good when he was out there with the defense, but he's an excellent special teamer, so that's a blow for that unit.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a blow for the special teams. It's a blow for linebacker depth because he was like the quasi third linebacker. Now he gets replaced. He gets replaced by the guy from the Pats. So depth is hurting right now because now you only have 4 linebackers on the active roster, if I'm not mistaken. So did they make another move? Did they call up a guy from the practice squad again? I'm not even sure if Zaire Barnes is on the practice squad right now. But I'm assuming that they're going to at least bring another linebacker at least onto the practice squad, if not to the active roster, because 4 is pretty thin at that position.
I'll tell you what. What's Bart Scott up to? What's David Harris up to? Hey, can CJ Mosley come out of retirement? I mean, they're thin at linebacker, man. This is not good.
Yeah, get an Avery Williamson off the couch in his Jets gear. Something, man, because linebacker is extremely thin. Defensive line is thin, and it's something the Jets need to address going forward. It's not just about your blue chippers and stuff. When we want those players, we never really had them, but we're also seeing at this point in the season, 3 weeks in, it's the roster is quite a bit about the depth as well.
Not good. Big fella with a super chat. He cuts the line. Stevens to safety, AZ to corner, and Brownlee to take snaps from Carter. I would be on the phone with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, too. Now, C.J. Gardner-Johnson got released today by Houston. I got some people that cover the Texans that I checked in with on that because we know the Jets certainly could use another safety. He was a bad fit in that locker room. He got into it with coaches and the other players there. He doesn't sound like a player that Aaron Glenn would want to add to that room. Plus, he feels like a guy that wants to go to a contending team and not the 0-3 Jets. He's leaving 0-3 Houston to go join 0-3 New York Jets. I don't see that happening, big fella. But as far as his other points here, AZ Thomas would love to see him play more. And if they do move Stevens to safety, I mean, that's an easy way to still try and get something out of a guy you invested a significant contract into this season.
Yeah, the only thing about this comment is I don't see, and I think you said it pre-show, Brownlee has really only played the outside. So I don't think he's going to take snaps from Carter in the slot. And Carter's had a really bad 3-week stretch here, but you don't want to give up on him 3 weeks into the season. Like, you got to give him a few more weeks to see if he figures it out. But I do see the Stevens to safety as a very big potential. And yeah, with Gardner-Johnson, again, like if the Jets were in a situation where they're going for it all this year, playoff team, Super Bowl team, then maybe that's a risk you're willing to take. But for a team who's going to end up winning 5, 6, 7 games, you want to bring in a malcontent to the locker room who's never really fit in anywhere. Like, he seemed to be happy with the Eagles, right? But they were winning Super Bowls and getting deep into the playoffs. You bring him into a Jets team that maybe, is 0-3 now, maybe 0-4, 0-5, 0-6. We'll see what happens. Not an ideal fit. I don't think it's worth it for a coach who's trying to kind of establish his culture.
All right, so here is the latest news. Just a recap here before we do a little film review. Quincy Williams placed on injured reserve. Marcelino McCrary Ball placed on injured reserve, meaning they're both out at least 4 games. Jets making a trade for this guy, Jarvis Brownley. He has started 16 games, including 2 this season. He was inactive last week with an ankle injury. In his career, he's got 2 interceptions, 10 passes defensed, 11 accepted penalties. That's the knock. He's highly penalized, so he'll fit right in with the other players the Jets have in their secondary. And then the other move we were just discussing, the Jets poaching a linebacker, Mark Robinson, off the Patriots practice squad, which means he's on the active 53. So we have covered it all, Joe Blewett. Other than that, how was the film review this week? What did you like the most, having to watch back another painful Jet defeat?
Yeah, it is brutal having to do this for 7-8 years now, just watching game after game after game after game. I was making comments, we got right into it, but you sent me the G5 shirt, so it's at least very clear that I could be bought, Jake, and it's evident by this shirt. And then also Twitter this week, dude. What is going on? Jake getting hammered on Twitter. I am kind of in the realm of like personal protection and bodyguard type stuff. So if you need somebody walking around with you with a gat, I am for hire. So I can be bought, but Jake is getting killed in the Twitter streets this week. I don't know what the hell is going on.
I know you have all the booger eaters, the people that live in their mom's basements, very upset that I'm not pro Jets 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. And God forbid I'm frustrated with a coach who talked about winning now and going forward. And we're not the same old Jets, yet they're 0-3. And the defense, which has been a strength of this team the last couple of years, is not just like bad, Joe. They're horrendous so far through the first 3 games. So look, I'm not saying fire Aaron Glenn. I'm not saying that he can't turn it around and be a really good coach. But 3 games in, this is a poorly coached team, and I stand by everything I've said on this show and I've said on social media.
Yeah, no, you just gotta speak about what you're seeing. You can't be a cheerleader, because then people who are actually watching the film or know what they're talking about, like, okay, this guy is an idiot, and then you're gonna lose followers. So you just gotta be true to what you see. And I get it all the time, dude. I put up plays where it's like very evident that I'm probably right on this play. People are like, oh, you're an idiot. Tyrod can't get rid of that ball. Yeah. There's a guy in his face. I'm like, bro, he's looking at Garrett Wilson and there's a guy 10 yards away. But it's just better to not even respond. I figured that out a couple of years ago on Twitter. Just post and get off, log off. Like I'll react, I'll interact with people who have like legit conversations and can actually make points. But like, oh, you're an idiot. It's not worth it. You're not going to change anybody's opinions. It's just what Twitter is. So I saw some of it. I'm like, damn, man, just like he's being honest about the team. They suck right now. They're kind of embarrassing. The whole Aaron Glenn stuff, not the same old Jets. It looks just like the same old Jets to me in terms of how they're playing on the football field, taking moral victories, making excuses, initially talking about, hey, we're going to win games, to now pivoting to, oh, well, big ships turn slower or whatever it is. It's like, dude, you change your tune after 2 or 3 weeks here. So, yeah, we're going to be pissed off. Now, with that being said, like, you can't blame him for the last, 50 years of Jets fandom, but not the hottest start for his regime. And I think you're completely within your right to be very critical of this team, because they deserve it.
That's all it really comes down to, right? Like, I just want to see this team win. And if I have to sit here and, take the bullets for mouth breathers on Twitter, fine. I'll deal with it, but I'll tell you what, Joe, if I ever do need personal protection, you're my first call.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I am for hire again, as evident by the shirt. I am now a bought man. So whatever you need, Jake, some of these, I'm in the parking lot most of these weeks. So if you need me watching over you, here we are. I got the gats to do it. So
love it. All right. Before we get to the film review here, and we always learn a ton when Joe's on, I by the way, I was in Tampa for the game this weekend, and I kid you not, at least 4 or 5 people came up to me and said hello, love the show, and they brought up your segment on Tuesdays as their favorite already, which was awesome.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I know I'm relatively new to the show, so for people to respect it already, that's obviously awesome to hear. Because like you said, I'm not your fans, but there's some mouth breathers out there. It's like, oh my God, he's an idiot, whatever. So yeah, no, I definitely appreciate that. And maybe I got to make it out to an event. I don't know when your next one is, but if I got time and the kid's not sleeping and the wife's not going to kill me, I gotta make it out to an Asmaniac event in the next couple of months.
We will make it happen. When Robbie Sabo showed up to the party on Saturday, you would have thought the Pope arrived. I mean, the crowd pop was absurd.
Did Robbie have some beverages, or did he not have any beverages?
Look, he claims he didn't. There's some photos that would suggest otherwise, but I mean, I'll take the man at his word that he was just drinking water the entire evening.
I will give him credit. He came to Carolina with us in 2022, right? That was the first game. He was throwing back Jameson shots with me. So Robbie gets after it playing pool. It was a good time. So I know Robbie can get after it. So yeah, maybe he's lying to you and he slipped something in the bathroom or something. Maybe he popped an edible or something, because Robbie likes to get after it, even though he doesn't seem like the type of guy to.
Love it. Love it. If you're watching live, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Here's your look at the latest line for Monday Night Football 6 days from now. Jets a slight dog, but it's only 2.5. This, at least from a point spread perspective, is the tightest point spread of the season so far, as the Jets will try and get their first win on Monday Night Football. Throughout the show today, we are officially accepting entries for Asmaniac Raffle number 42. Congrats again to our 3 winners on the first show today. Our top prize is a signed jersey by each member of the New York Sack Exchange. Prize 2 is a signed Can't Wait inscription Bart Scott jersey. And prize 3 is a signed CJ Mosley jersey. So 2 linebackers in the Sack Exchange, our top 3 prizes so far in the Asmaniac Raffle. Gift away for your chance to win. And with that said, Joe, let's do some film breakdowns. Let's look at the All-22 from the Jets and the Bucs. You tell us where we're starting. We'll pull up the clip on the screen, and we'll break it down in real time. And if anyone has any questions, make sure you write it in, and I'll make sure that we bring it up to Joe in real time. But without further ado, the first play is on the screen. Joe, go ahead, set it up for us, and take it away.
Yeah, I think the theme kind of this week is like, is this the same old Jets or is this not the same old Jets? And kind of just showing like some of the inefficiencies from the offense, some of the inefficiencies from the defense. Then we talked a little bit about the last drive. Like 3 out of 4 of those plays were just terrible. Or I think it's 3 out of 5 actually. But nonetheless, this is the very first play of the game. And again, a lot of these are simple. I'm just going to run through them quickly because I don't have to spend a lot of time on it because it's all relatively simple. We have another Yankee concept. You have like a stem dig, a stem over here from Garrett Wilson. You have a post from the very top of the screen from, I believe it could be Tyler Johnson. It could be Arian Smith. It really doesn't matter. But Garrett Wilson is wide open after play action. Again, you can't see my cursor, so it hurts a little bit, but wide open here. If you look at the freeze frame, he's looking at Garrett Wilson with plenty of room to the middle and just doesn't pull the trigger. He doesn't pull the trigger. He ends up scrambling for, 6 or 7 yards, but it's like, why are you not throwing that ball? One, it's scripted, so they're practicing it. And a Yankee concept is pretty generic. Like, this is not the most complicated reads. All the linebackers are sucked up into the box because of play action, and he just completely misses Garrett Wilson across the middle. So that's how you start off the game, and it's kind of an indictment on what happens the rest of the game, because Tyrod was just not seeing it well, which is unfortunate. But you kind of had to expect it a little bit, at least with the fact that he just didn't play in the preseason. And it takes guys a little bit to warm up to this stuff. But he did not really offer what I thought he would to the offense. His eyes were not right in this game, and was definitely trigger shy at times.
I do wonder how much of that was, as you bring up, the lack of playing time. I know he had a little bit of action last week against Buffalo, but still, go out there with a game plan of an opponent for specifically what you're going to do, Tyrod. That must have been tough for him, but that's a bad look right there. All right, here we go. Give us the breakdown for this next play on the screen.
Yeah, so 2 things about this one, and I'll play it in a little bit, but just pre-snap. So to the top, you got a 3-by-1. You have Garrett Wilson to the bottom of the screen. And this is 3rd and 4. It was 2nd and 1, right, with the lining up off sides or illegal formation or shift or whatever it was on Arian Smith that pushed them back. 2nd and 6. I believe it was a 2-yard run after that. Now you're in 3rd and 4, and now I get it. Like, you have Garrett Wilson to the bottom. He's isolated, which fine. My one issue with it is, and you want your superstar receivers to win on plays like this, Garrett Wilson has not been consistent at 2 things. And there's a few other things too, which we'll talk about, but 2, and specifically in relation to this play, is 1, he doesn't win vertically consistently, and 2, his contested catches, while he has flashes like the Texans, he's not the best contested catcher. And now we're putting him on a fade ball, right? So that's my problem with the call here. Now, with all being said, you have an opportunity here to hit him back shoulder, and we'll see it as I play the play. But when you have a corner who ends up over the top of you vertically and with heavy inside leverage, you want to put the ball back shoulder. You want to put the ball to the green grass and let Garrett Wilson attack the ball and make a play on the ball. Instead, Tyrod, and I'll play it now, he puts this ball vertically and inside with a corner who is vertical and inside. So you're making him fight through the corner to get to that ball. It just does not make sense where the ball is thrown here. Again, one, I don't love the call. I think there could be more creativity here than just isolating. But again, I understand it's your number one receiver. But he has to put this ball back shoulder at like the whatever yard line, the 10-yard line, 9-yard line, 10, somewhere right around there, and to let him attack it, because you can't put a ball inside versus inside leverage. So a bad throw from Tyrod there. He gave his receiver absolutely no chance. And on top of that, I don't necessarily love the call. Don't hate it, but do not love it.
Ugh, it's so frustrating, man. Just plays like that. You don't think they matter, Jet fans? They do, because they needed every bit of it when they tried to come back. And so frustrating. All right, next play here, Joe. Go ahead. I'm going to put it up on the screen. We all now can officially see it.
Yeah, again, these are all pretty simple. Like, I don't have to do all nuanced. And, I know when I was on like months ago, Nate was talking like, insteps and, anchoring down and all this, and it's boring to some people. This is all easy stuff. Like, this is all simple stuff. All I want you to do here is watch Ruckert. So all the way on the right side of your screen, you have this is from Pistol 12 personnel. You have a inside mid zone. And just watch Ruckert. That's literally all you need to do on this play. And there's really not much else to break down. Everybody zone steps, but Ruckert steps inside, basically picks Fashanu, which allows Reddick to get into the backfield and forces a quick cut back, and the play is over before it starts, because a guy is picking his own guy. Like it looks like he's getting paid off by the defense here. So just watch Ruckert. That's all you need to do on this play. Oh. Like this is high school level football stuff. Like, you're picking your own guy to then get to the linebacker or the safety who's dropped down number 8. I don't know what exactly he is, but what are we doing here? Like, this is just simple 101 football stuff, like pee-wee level football, where you're picking your own guy and letting a guy get into the backfield, and the back edge is unblocked because they're anticipating on hitting that front side quickly, but you force an immediate cutback, so now that guy gets involved in the play too. It's just you can't win like this with these type of plays.
What happened to the Ruckert of the first couple of games where he wasn't awful? It felt like made some catches. I didn't think his blocking was terrible. He just completely regressed on that one play there.
Well, like that play, like again, that could be coaching. I don't know exactly what he's thinking. I'm assuming it's just the mental lapse. But he's been blocking better. Like, I'll give credit to Ruckert. He's not been the Ruckert of the first 3 years. I think he's been a better blocker this year, no doubt. We saw it more the first 2 weeks. But even this week, I don't think he was terrible as a blocker. I don't want one play to write his story for the entire game, but you obviously got to highlight it. Like, you're talking about the play being over before it even starts, because just a complete blown assignment. So, like, individually, not bad, but I'm going to put that one on him in terms of the mental lapse, because everybody else did their job. It's just there's one guy out of 11 who didn't do the right thing, so you're going to put it on him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Blewett is our guest. If you have a question for him throughout the film review, write it in, and we will pull it up on the screen. Rick Kent with a comment. I'd like to see Stone Smart get some reps. And what's interesting, too, even beyond Stone Smart, they had how many tight ends active on Sunday? All their tight ends and the fullback were active. And it feels like they didn't really incorporate any of that into their offense. I know Mason Taylor got a lot of targets as they were trying to come back, but I mean, they really have not had the involvement with the tight ends through 3 games as I thought we were going to get.
Yeah, and again, like, you're lacking at receiver right now, and Stone Smart's like a quasi big receiver. Like, give him some reps. Jelani Woods, they picked him up. He's not been involved at all. Now he's learning an offense and all that stuff, and it's hard to say, like, guys' mental capacity for picking up offenses and stuff. So it could be a Jelani Woods thing where he's just not picking up quickly, and it takes him some time. But yeah, I'd like to see some more involvement. Even back in some situations, I want to see some more involvement. I think he got over criticized a little bit by Jets fans. Like, terrible block on that one play. He initially fakes to the play side, has to work all the way across the formation to match a blitzing corner. Like, he was put out of position there by the scheme, so you can't really blame Beck there. People do on Twitter because, again, of what I call like freeze frame scouting. A lot of people do it on Twitter too, Jake. I'm sure you see it. It's like, people will take a drop back, pause it, and be like, "Oh, Tyler Johnson's wide open." It's like, okay, but in terms of the scheme, in terms of the drop, in terms of the quarterback's eyes. Like, you can't just say, oh, this guy's open circle and say should have hit him. Like, you got to be more nuanced than that. But yeah, I thought Beck should have been more involved, over criticized this week for really no reason. And then, yeah, the tight ends too. Like, let's get Jelani Woods out there and Stone Smart as a big receiver, because, Tyler Johnson, he made some plays this week, but he dropped a big ball, big over route for like 20, 30 yards, whatever that was going to be. Last week, dropped the ball against the Bills. So, and past that, Lazard, he probably didn't catch that ball in the end zone, let's be real, but because of the call on the field, is a touchdown. So yeah, let's get more guys involved and see what they have.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Blewett with us. If you have a question, write it in. And a reminder that we have new raffle prizes for people to enter: Sack Exchange jersey, Bart Scott signed jersey, and a CJ Mosley signed jersey. One super chat, then we'll get right back to the film review. Cash Money Mike in the house. He won $700 in our raffle at the listener party Saturday night down in Tampa, and we gave him the name Cash Money Mike. He's in the raffle for 5. He says, I love what Robbie Sabo said earlier. Quote, AG should own it and say, we are the same old Jets until we prove otherwise. We are the most depressed, most frustrated, most embarrassed, most annoyed, and definitely the most deserving. I agree. And Joe, real quick, if you want to hit on this, because I know we did allude to it at the top. I didn't like Glenn trying to say they're not the same old Jets at 0-3. I think Sabo's point and what the super chat outlines there, I think it'd be a good approach for Glenn. Hey, I know I said we're not the same old Jets, but you know what the reality is? Until we start winning, we are, and we're here to change that, and that's what we're going to do. I think that's the right approach from Glenn if he were to take that angle.
Yeah, like if anything, I expected him to hold guys accountable. I'm not saying like go out there in the media and bash players necessarily, but like don't excuse the fact that your offense didn't show up until the last quarter where the Bucs weren't blitzing and kind of played prevent. And the only reason you were in the game, they had 14 penalties. Like, Thank God they had that. 3 offensive linemen out. Godwin out. You had Mike Evans out. Like they were competitive by the score, but not really throughout the game. So
yeah, it took McDonald making one of the greatest plays you'll ever see to make it close.
Yeah, and 14 penalties, like it's, and a bunch of drops. Mike Evans had 3 drops. I think Ibuka had a drop. I think Cade Otton on one play had a drop. So like they were kind of gifted that game, and then a blocked field goal for a touchdown. So like they weren't as competitive, but like it's just weird because I want to see him hold the guys accountable. I don't want it to be a thing where like, it's like Sala vibes, like country club vibes, taking moral victories. Like, no, you lost a freaking game. You're 0-3. Nobody cares about moral victories. Nobody's going to remember this at the end of the year. Oh, well, week 3, we were a little bit competitive with the Bucs, whatever. So like, just, we lost. We're blowing defenses. We're missing tackles. You don't have to say we're the same old Jets, but like hold your team accountable. Like we need to be better than we are. It's not like, again, moral victories. It's showing your guys that, hey, it's okay to loaf it on some plays, miss tackles and all this stuff. Like there's some plays here that were just embarrassing in terms of the defense, which we'll get into. But yeah, you're 0-3, own it. Let's not make it a thing where it's like you're fighting the media for whatever reason. Just take accountability. Like, oh, it's your guys' job to find the negatives. It's like, yeah, they're blatantly obvious. They're all over the film. They're all over the game. Like you have to be blind to not see the negatives of this team. So of course the media is going to do that. Just be accountable.
Well said. I think that's the perfect response there. The Austrian Jet fan is in the raffle. He gifted 5 Jake Asman Show memberships. Hit it, Aaron Glenn. What a video. Now, as far as the dancing and whatever, anyone who's actually upset that Aaron Glenn's showing emotion on the sideline, that to me is crazy. I have no issue with that. I didn't love him clapping after the game, but to be fair, I don't know what he was specifically clapping at. But like people upset that a coach is excited after a Will McDonald play. You can't criticize Saleh for being boring and stoic and then be mad that Aaron Glenn's super excited that one of the greatest plays you'll ever see just happened to give his team the lead late in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. Again, like it's something I've been saying forever now. People criticize, certain guys for being too energetic in this situation, like AG, Saleh for being too stoic. But it's like, you've criticized Saleh for being too stoic or whatever. But Bill Belichick didn't make a face in the sideline, and they won however many Super Bowls. So like, as long as you win game, who cares? The Jets blocked a field goal, one of the best plays in Jets history. He's excited. Like I'm a Jets fan. I've been tore down. I ran around my house like a maniac screaming, and my kid was looking at me like, what is going on here? So like, it's you're excited about the play. And like you said, at the end, what if he was clapping at an effort from Will McDonald again? Like Will McDonald almost got there, or he's clapping at another guy. Like, I don't think he was clapping, hey, we lost the game. Good job, guys. Like, and he could have been, But the problem is, without having the context of it, it's unfair to like completely criticize him. I think you have to at least say, okay, well, if you can give two sides of it. If he's clapping because, hey, good game, guys, good effort, then criticize him. But what if he's clapping at a player? Like it's the problem with today's world is I think people go on to not enough information and comment on things like that, so you kind of got to give it from both sides.
Well said. Back to the film review we go for those just tuning in. Joe, you mentioned that there's going to be some ugly ones coming up, and I can already see where this one is headed. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we got two more from the offense and about another 5 or 6 from the defense, which we're all really, really quick on the defense. But this is the pick 6, and it's bad for quite a few reasons. And one, I'll go through it before I even play it because again, you can't see the cursor and stuff. But to the bottom of the screen, you have Garrett Wilson on a curl on a stop. Tyrod stares at it the entire time. Okay, so that's problem 1. Problem 2 is to the bottom of the screen in the slot, you have that corner who's in very heavy inside leverage in the slot, which is already showing blitz. And what you want to do with the blitz is replace the blitz, right? So where the blitz comes from, there's typically going to be a weakness in coverage there. He never gets his eyes there. You have Tyler Johnson, who's wide open on a crosser. And then even past that, you have Mason Taylor to the top of the screen in the slot, who comes wide open on a drag route. He never sees any of these guys because he's staring at Garrett Wilson the entire time, So, and I get staring at Garrett Wilson again in a big spot, but you have to replace that blitz. So at least check the blitz. Okay, he's blitzing there. Is something wide open across the middle of the field? Yes, it was. Never gets his eyes there, right? So we'll play it. Part of the problem is you have a missed blitz pickup from Brees. Looks like he's getting a scan protection, just looking over the entire offensive line. He takes it a little bit too inside, is late to see the corner blitzing. Again, Brees takes it too far inside. You have a wide open B gap here. You have 4 guys versus 2. So you'd think that, hey, somebody would get here, and it's probably on Brees, like that scan protection to get out into the B gap. He's late to pick it up. Tyrod avoids it nicely. But the problem is he's throwing from a terrible platform because now he's, there's no base into the throw. His feet are even. So now it's just completely an arm throw. 15 yards vertically and opposite hash. It's a hard ball to get there already, but now you're throwing from off platform, puts it there, and Dean picks it for 6 right before the half. Now, secondarily, Garrett Wilson, and this is something I put on Twitter, and again, like I said, mouth breathers, whatever. How can you criticize Garrett? And 90% of that is on Tyrod. But Garrett Wilson is making $32.5 million a year. He has to come back to the football here. You have to attack it. He doesn't attack it, allows it to be jumped again, and Tyrod not replacing that blitz, not seeing Tyler Johnson wide open, which I'll give you a little bit of a freeze frame here. Let's see where we're at. So yeah, let me rewind a tiny bit here. Tyler Johnson, look at him over the middle. Like you could park a semi truck in the middle of the field here, and he just never sees him because he stares at Garrett Wilson the entire time. And it happened quite a few times this game where he just stared at Garrett Wilson way too long. And I get it here, like Garrett Wilson does a good job breaking into the blind spot and everything like that, but you at least got to check the inside. And again, Mason Taylor breaks underneath. I can't even kill him for that because he should have hit Tyler Johnson in the first place. And then Garrett, again, just exemplifies it and doesn't attack the ball.
It's just, and this was the play of the game. I mean, I know they came back and took the lead in the 4th on the McDonald miracle, but this play doesn't happen. It's 13-6 right before halftime. The Jets, let's say, end up with a field goal here. They're already on the the Bucs side of the field. 13-9 at halftime. You're in the game. You got a chance.
Yeah, as a team, as bad as the Jets, or not as bad as the Jets, like they have talent and stuff, but any team who could give away a pick 6, you also had a fumble from Tyrod where they gifted him 10 points, and they're already allowing a lot of points, so about 30 points per game. You can't just gift a team 10 points, in today's NFL and expect to win the game. So, as soon as that play happened, 20 to 6, like, okay, what are our chances here? And obviously they come back, but as we all know, and I'm sure you emphasize plenty on this show already, it's what Jets fan thought they're going to stop them for your field goal. And the problem is, like, the ball, Nick Folk, nobody's talking about that, but like, why do you kick the ball into the end zone there? You're giving them to at the 35-yard line. They got to gain 25 yards to be in field goal range. Like, it's almost impossible. So, not great. Obviously, pick 6 right before half, right?
The pain. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Blewett with us, super chat from Jets to the Moon, who joins our raffle for 2. And I haven't said what we're playing for as far as a daily raffle prize. How about we do a Jets jersey, dealer's choice? You want a Fields jersey? We'll give you a Fields jersey. You want a Brees or a Garrett jersey? We'll make that happen for you. How about a Sauce or a JJ jersey? You got it. A Quinnen or a Quincy? We'll make that happen for you as well. So dealer's choice, Jets jersey of your choosing, up for grabs at the end of the show today. As far as the super chat here from Jets to the Moon, he says, I was mad at the dancing because while he was dancing, I was yelling at my TV, go down at the 1 yard line. Glenn gets paid life-changing money not to figure out that there was too much time left. Let me say this. You can't tell Will McDonald in that moment not to score.
No.
You're not thinking that. You're a defensive player is not trained to know that. Like he's got to score there. You can't blame Will McDonald for going down at the 1, because if he went down at the 1 and God forbid they didn't score, the biggest criticism would be, what are you doing? Take the touchdown. And you have to just trust your defense to be able to get a stop with a minute 49 to go. I know that, hindsight's 2020, but like, come on, like you can't expect Will McDonald or even Aaron Glenn in that moment to tell Will McDonald to go down at the 1.
Can you imagine if he went to, and was it the Broncos game last year where they were stuffed like 4 times in a row at the 1 yard line? Yep. Can you imagine if that happened again? And then Glenn admits to telling Will McDonald to fall down at the 1 yard line, how heavily you'd be criticized. Like, no, your defense is paid a ton of money. You have a ton of guys there making a lot of money, first round picks, all pros, all this stuff. Maybe they can make a stop in a critical moment, which they haven't done in years. Like even the defense was solid the last couple of years. Every time the Jets scored, they allow a score. Like, you got to trust your defense there. I think that's a hindsight thing. And again, if you don't score that touchdown there, you're going to be absolutely roasted all week, deservingly so. So you just got to score there. And even if he was screaming at Will McDonald, can Will McDonald hear him in that moment? Like there's no way in a stadium of 70,000 people with all that going on, he's going to hear Aaron Glenn saying, get down at the 1. It's impossible. There's just no way.
I'll tell you what, it was a lot less than 70,000 because a lot of people were hitting the exits already because it was unbearably hot when that happened, man. Crazy.
I'll give credit to Jets fans, though. It seemed like they were making some noise during the game. So it seemed like there was at least, Jets fans packed at least pretty good.
Yeah, I'm bad at math, but I would say it was maybe 30 to 35% Jets fans in the building. It was a very good turnout. And I think if they had won one of the first 2, it would have been even more.
We deserve better, man. Like we already got from the super chat. It's been beyond brutal. If there's still travel there, I'm going to New England for you to go there. They say it's 120 degrees on the field, like at kickoff. Like, oh my God, dude, you couldn't. I hate the heat. So just give me nice 50s, 60s fall weather, all this stuff for football games. That is beyond brutal.
It was brutal. The Human Fun checks in by gifting a membership. And how about this? The Human Fun's membership went to the guy on the screen with me, Joe Blewett, receiving a membership from the Human Fund. And I'll tell you what, Human Fund, you're in the raffle for not 1. We're putting you in the raffle for 2 for making it happen there for Joe Blewett.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
All right. How about that?
This was the first time I was in the chat, on YouTube, and I saw the gifts pop up. It's like allow gift memberships. I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not? I'm a bought man now, as Maniac and all this stuff. So, now I get some emojis and stuff or whatever else it is. So thank you for the gift membership. I appreciate you.
There you go. Shout out to the Human Fund for coming through. All right, Joe, let's get to more of these plays here. We're rapid fire through what's left. We'll mix in some calls as well for anyone who wants in on our conversation. This next play, Tyrod in the gun. Take it away.
Yeah, this is another play where right off the jump you have Garrett Wilson to the top of the screen on an out and up, and if you see far hash, there's a DB who's approaching the line of scrimmage. At the snap, he takes a hard exit angle to get over top of Garrett Wilson, and it's something that Tyrod needs to notice immediately that they're doubling Garrett Wilson. They have 2 guys in coverage on Garrett Wilson, out and up. This is just not going to be. It's just not going to be open. Stares at it. Bottom of his drop, still staring at it. And another situation where Tyler Johnson, if you look in the middle of the field, is crossing over the linebacker and is open on an over route. Tyrod never sees it because he stares at Garrett Wilson on a play based on the defense and the rotation. He should have come off of it pretty much immediately and then ends up taking the sack. Right? Like it's as simple as that. There's really not much more for me to break down schematically, 12 personnel, who cares? He stares at Garrett Wilson. You have a wide open guy on a cross, not wide open, but he's open on a crosser. That's NFL open, easily stares at him, ends up taking the sack. Like what else needs to be said there? Not much in my opinion. And also you have Myers who oversets it a little bit, allows some pressure, but that's more on Tyrod than anybody else.
Let me ask you about the quarterback situation, right? With Fields and protocol, he's got to be cleared first. But assuming he is cleared, would you definitely go back to Justin Fields based on what you saw on film from Tyrod and what you saw on film from Fields in the good game and obviously the awful game?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to comment on because I really do think the Jets are going to go back to him regardless. So who cares about my opinion about what I would do? I think if you're trying to win games, maybe you can argue for Tyrod, but at this point, what you paid Fields, what he offers to the offense in terms of the ceiling, what he offers to the running game, I think they're undoubtedly going to go back. Like he had he had a good game one, bad game two, but they're not going to be out on him after one bad game for the Jets. So I think it's a thing where they will go back to him for at least a few more games. So again, if you want to win one game, maybe it's Tyrod, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, I just think with the fact that they haven't been able to run the ball since that first one, and Fields could give you a little spark there, and the Dolphins defense has allowed a ton of rushing yards per game so far. I just think if Fields is healthy, he's the guy. Plus, you're right, they paid him $30 million guaranteed. He's 26. They're trying to see if he can maybe be their guy beyond just this one season. Yeah,
it'd be pretty foolish to be like, hey, we're going to take a shot on this on a long shot. Let's be honest with Fields and be like, one game we're out. Like it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Right. They're going to go back. It's pretty evident.
Ladies and gentlemen, a super chat here from Kashmir Black, who says, ironic the Jets or the Dolphins could have the same record as the Chiefs or the Ravens after week 4. And Glenn look on the sideline. He could still run a 4.40. That is true. If Aaron Glenn had to suit up to replace someone in the secondary, do you think you can give him a couple reps based on what you saw with him dancing on Sunday?
What's the saying? Like, if your mind isn't right, like speed just gets you to the wrong place fast. So at least, which is the Jets have been doing plenty. So at least you'd be hopefully technically sound, at least be in the area on some of these plays. So.
Yeah, baby. He's moving. I think he could give us a couple reps.
I wish we could use that GIF or whatever you want to call that in a good way, but because of what happened after, we can't, and now it's a thing to make fun of them. Like it just sucks that's the result.
Oh, it's terrible, and I hate that. I hate to say this, but we know how this goes. If it ends up not working out, right? Like he fails, he gets fired. That's going to be the video that plays all the time when we think of the Aaron Glenn era, which is terrible, but that's the reality of what happens when you don't win after you have this all-time moment that you wasted. Yeah, people give me a hard time on Twitter being like, how did they waste it? They wasted it because you're never going to get another play like that in the fourth quarter when you're down and that takes the lead late. That should have been the play that won the game, but every Jet fan knew there was too much time. I'm getting texts from fans of all these other teams. People texting me, wow, oh my, and I'm like, they're still going to lose because you knew it was going to happen, and that's what bothers me so much.
Dude, it sucks. Again, all the Jets fans knew it. Running around my house like a maniac again, and I look at the clock, whatever was left, a minute and 50, and like my heart just sinks. I'm like, there's no way they're going to stop him here. And then you have 3 to 5 plays that go for like 20 yards, and they're already in field goal position. Which I'll skip some plays so we can get into some super chats or calls or whatever. I'll get 3 from the end of the game, so then we talk about that specifically.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, brutal. This is one where Malachi Moore. So he's to the he's the high safety to the bottom of the screen near the near hash. And he gets burned here for what should be a 66.5-yard touchdown here. He's responsible for number 2 anything vertical. They're in a quarters coverage, so he's responsible for that number 2 vertical, and he ends up way too flat-footed. And again, I don't want to pause it too much and get laggy, but like you have, and I'm skipping on purpose here. You have a receiver who's within 5 yards of you, and he's standing completely still. You know how hard it is to reaccelerate and match a receiver, whether you go outside or inside here. You cannot be flat-footed. So we need to play more heavy inside leverage, right? Because one, he's responsible for that inside fourth. He also has Isaiah Thomas at the bottom of the screen, who, if it is an outbreak, he has Isaiah Thomas there. So you have to play this inside leverage, and you have to start gaining some ground. He's flat-footed, guesses outside, and what should be a 66-yard touchdown. Like right off the jump, it's like, are you kidding me? Like this is just not obviously not great indictment of what's going to happen after that, but you can't be guessing there. So Malachi came in. I think he had good PFF numbers, but he almost got beat there. He almost got beat on the sail route to Kate Otten, but Baker put it too high. He also missed a tackle, so I don't think he came in and played great, to be completely transparent. Again, I will never lie to you guys. I'll always be completely honest, even if it hurts me in terms of like people liking me, but it just is what it is. Cannot guess there. You cannot be that flat-footed, especially with outside help from Malachi. So that was the first play of the drive. Next play, we have Cisco, who's getting beat for 28 yards here. And I want to highlight 2 things in this play. One, again, another situation where at least at the top of the screen, you have a quarters look. And Cisco to the top of the screen, he's the highest defender right now. Again, he's matching anything vertical from the number 2 here. You have the one who becomes the 2 because the 2 breaks out, right? You have that out route from the tight end. So you have in this specific quarters type variation, you have the outside corner who is, maybe it's Stevens who's going to jump that. And Cisco has to play over top of the 2 vertically. Look how far he's leveraged inside. Like he's putting himself completely out of position here. I get playing inside leverage. I'm fine. Use the sideline, but you're talking about 4 yards in horizontal relationship. He gives it to him right off the jump. He actually breaks on it well, but he just completely out leveraged because of where he's aligned. And then secondarily, to the bottom of your screen, and I don't know exactly what Malachi Moore is doing here, but Malachi Moore passes off an over route or a slice route, whatever you want to call it in the specific one, and he passes it off to Cisco, and Cisco's responsible for the number 2 vertical. So what is Malachi Moore doing? Who is he passing that off to on this play too? So blown coverage because of leverage and a blown coverage because of a pass off to nobody that's there. So again, just the blown coverages to this point, regardless of what you want to say about Wilkes and what he's doing, disguising, the calls, whatever, like tackling and blown coverages, you're never going to win games. Regardless of what you think about the actual intricacies of the down by down calls, you got to make tackles and you can't play with defenses, right? Like it's as simple as that. Let's start there. And the Jets are doing both of those things, so they're going to be bad. And we can get to all the other stuff later in terms of schematics and whatever else.
They signed Cisco. They signed Stevens. That's a Muji and Glenn move, people. And so far, they both look terrible.
That was one I took some heat for. I feel like the general consensus on Cisco, there's a very good player. I'm like, I think they overpaid this dude $10 million a year. Quite a few blown coverages, quite a few blown tackles, and we're seeing that early on with him. He hasn't been bad as Cisco or as guys like Michael Carter II and Stevens, but Cisco, he had a missed tackle in this game as well on that one. Where same thing that Tony Adams did. He took an inside out angle when he should have been outside in and over the top, and he gets outflanked to the sideline and allows a big gain. So. Their signings have been brutal, minus the trades for Briggs and Phillips at this point.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to break down the film. But first, a few super chats here. The Hamburger wants to know, Joe, what's more likely to make you cry, cutting onions or breaking down Jets tape?
I don't know, man. Maybe I just like the pain of doing this. But again, I said it last week. I wish I could just turn this. And same thing for you. You have to go and talk about it all week. And I get some stuff with, again, you call them the mouth breathers. It's like, I was recapping the game last week and people are like, well, we can just move on. I'm like, bro, it's Tuesday. What am I supposed to do? Not recap the game and talk about what happened? Like, okay, hey, the Jets sucked. Moving on to the Buccaneers and I'll see you guys next week. Like, we have to talk about it. So it sucks to have to watch this for hours and hours and then come on here and be negative. I would love to come on here and tell you guys how great the Jets are. You do better traffic. I do better traffic, probably get more followers and stuff, but there's really not good film out there. So we have to be honest here. It sucks, but give me cutting onions. I rather do that at times for sure. That's
what I think a lot of inbreds on Twitter, for example, don't understand. Like, we do so much better monetarily. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't pronounce it.
Monetarily?
Thank you. When the Jets are good, like the few times they've actually been winning games, those are the more views, which means YouTube runs more ads on my show, which means more sponsors want to sponsor the show. Like, every content creator will tell you, we all do better when the Jets are actually good. So no one's rooting for losses. No one's trying to root against this team. It's just the life we're chosen. Like, people don't seem to understand that. Our numbers are all up for everyone when they win. We all want them to win because, one, we're fans, which is why we got into this. And two, it helps us have success.
I'm a fan first and foremost over an analyst or anything like that. Like, I'm a Jets fan number one. Like, if I had to give up either rooting for the Jets or going to games, whatever, or just being strictly unbiased, whatever, like, I'm going to be a fan first. Like, that's why I'm doing this. So yeah, and my videos, viewership's already dropped 50%, which is crazy.
I know.
It hurts to work so hard, and then it just September 23rd, the season's already over for some Jets fans. Your viewership drops. Who wants to be negative, but I can't twist it and be like, yeah, well, Phillips had a nice run stuff. Good game for the Jets. They sucked, and we got to recap it. So for the people who are like, well, just move on. It's like, well, what are we supposed to talk about? You do 4 hours a day, at least during the week. I don't know if you do two weekend shows or not, but what are you supposed to talk about? How are you not going to be negative right now?
Yep. 1000%. Well said. One more from Big Country, then we'll get to the remaining film breakdown here. He says, just tuning in, any word yet on the injury report? Injury report, nothing. You're not going to get it till maybe Thursday. I don't know what the practice schedule is for the Jets tomorrow, if they're going to do practice, because they have a game Monday. So you might not get your first injury report till Thursday. And if Fields is not out there, that to me tells me he's not cleared, obviously. So we'll see. We don't know the status of Jermaine as far as the rest of his super chat here. We need to win Monday. Our team needs to know what it's like to play with a W under their belt and then beat the Cowgirls. I mean, the schedule just in general is favorable, but none of this matters unless you win. The Dolphins are saying, oh, we're going to get our first win on Monday. We're playing the Jets. Finally a win for us. Every team that the Jets play until they prove they're not the same old Jets is looking at the Jets like it's a get-right game. Dallas is thinking the same thing a week after Monday. So they have to win games. And the schedule the next 6 games, at least on paper, looks favorable, which means nothing if the Jets don't go out there and actually win football games.
Yeah, exactly. If they play like they did the last 2 weeks, they're not winning any of these games anyway. You're talking about over pursuit and all that stuff. You got Devon A-Chain, you got Hill, and you got Waddle. Worried about that. Dallas, whooped our ass a couple of years ago. They got some talent on the team, even though Lamb might be out for that game. Huge watch there. Carolina just blew out the Falcons, but like as a fan, they have to win at least 2 to 3 of these games, right? You can't go 1-5 in this stretch. At the minimum 2 games. Gotta hope for 3. But again, if you're playing like a Pee Wee football team, which I even highlight a lot of, I skipped a lot of the plays because we've been talking more this one. Go watch the full review for that. But like some of the plays, like the over pursuit play, I'm sure you saw it on Twitter where 7 guys missed a tackle on a screen play. Like there's just so much covering grass, blown coverages. I didn't even show in this review because I don't have 2 hours here. But just beyond bad. So if they keep playing like the way they are, they're not going to win any games anyway. Like the Dolphins are such an easy win. They almost beat the Bills. Like they almost beat the Bills if it wasn't for roughing the punter or whatever it was, right? So they got to improve. They're not going to win any of these games.
You want to laugh before we get to the last play? So there's this guy, Derek Lynch, who had the audacity to write this before. You Jets fans are literally the worst. And Jake leads the charge in his ridiculous takes. It's been 3 games of Aaron Glenn's first year. So Derek says this. He's one of the inbreds on Twitter that I'm dealing with, I'm sure. And then he follows up and says, they will win at least 8 games. 8 games. So you're saying my takes are ridiculous. You're trying to tell me the Jets are going to win 8 games when they're 0-3. Derek, thank you for watching, but we don't want you here anymore if your takes are that bad.
You get the fuck out.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about, Joe. These are the idiots on Twitter.
Yeah. Again, that's like there's no substance to that argument. It's just like, oh, you're an idiot, but not giving any like real like substantive argument. So like who cares? Like you just say stuff that he said, right. She said, he sucks, you suck thing. It just there's really no point of it. Like, okay, yeah, they've sucked. Did Jake once say that, hey, he needs to be fired? Or are we just critical of what they've been doing so far? Are we not supposed to comment on the team? Jake, if you want to next, maybe I'll be on Wednesday next week. I'm not sure what's happening because the game's Monday night. But like maybe we'll sit here for 2 hours and just not talk and just talk about everything positive and mention nothing negative. I'll only show the 3 out of 60 plays that are positives. Yeah,
the punter, give me the McNamara,
Phillips, Nick Folk. Like, okay, let's just talk about that stuff. Maybe we'll try that next week. We'll just do the positives, even if they get blown out. 27-3. We'll just be all positive for these fans who we can't criticize the Jets after how bad they've been.
Yeah, and once again, I'm rooting for Aaron Glenn to be the guy. 3 games in, I don't think they've been a well-coached team, and we were promised a well-coached team. So I'm going to be critical until I have reasons to be positive. That's really all it comes down to. All right, how about this play right here? You said it's the final play, so let's end this with a bang, I'm sure.
Yeah, and again, just based on scheme, right? You have 8 guys in the line of scrimmage here. You have to the bottom of the screen, you have Sauce and whoever the safety is high. Maybe it's Malachi Moore, but to the bottom of the screen, you have 3 versus 2, right? You have a team who's been consistently throwing screens versus you all day. So you'd hope at least one guy from the line of scrimmage would drop back and make the bottom matchup 3v3, right? Again, really simple stuff. They blitz all of them. You leave 2 guys on an island, versus a smoke screen right here, and you pick up an easy 20 yards. Like just based on how it's drawn up, why are we blitzing 8 and leaving 2 versus 3? It just doesn't make sense, numerically. Now, if this was like a thing where it's, hey, they're disguising the blitz and they send 8, fine, but like they're showing pre-snap, hey, we're sending everybody. So let's put 2 guys off and key to Baker that, hey, I need to get rid of this ball immediately. Like, how are you going to win this play based on your alignment? You're not. Like if these guys were pressed up and something like that, then okay, but you're giving them all the room underneath, showing them that, hey, you got to get rid of the ball quickly. Again, basic 101. I don't need to get more intricate than that. Simple stuff. And then past that, you have Braden McGregor, who takes a way too flat angle, not anticipating where he's going. He's going to where he is, not to where he's going, and barely gets a hand on. He wouldn't even tackle him in two-hand touch right here. So gross tackling. I've seen, I don't know what the exact number was. I saw 16. I see 19. I'm not sure exactly what the number is, but regardless, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's a brutal number in terms of tackles missed. And there's another one right there.
19, according to Next Gen Stats. The biggest missed tackle culprits, according to Pro Football Focus, Quinnen Williams and Andre Sisco each had 3. Braden McGregor, Will McDonald had 2. Malachi Moore, Sauce Gardner, Jamie and Sherwood, Michael Carter, Quincy Williams, and Michael Clemens all had 1.
Yeah, and that's not even counting like the guys who are in pursuit who didn't get close to the tackle on that one. So realistically, like in terms of like missed tackles like that, they should have been tackles. You're probably talking about 30 to 40 guys who just should have tackled the ball carrier and didn't, but actually didn't get close enough. However, they quantify that, I'm not sure. Yeah, PB level stuff in terms of tackling and just blown assignments on defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to make of this super chat, but it cuts the line. We just signed Jordan Schultz, ? The NFL reporter? No. He reported the trade. Yeah, he reported the trade, big country, that the Jets made for the Titans corner we talked about at the top of the show. But no, the Jets did not sign Howard Schultz's son to their squad.
Maybe like traded him for like Samini or somebody, one of the beat reporters. Like, is that what we did? Like, I guess I'll take him over. I don't want to say him. Actually, I'll say it. I traded him for Kaz, like a guy who bitches about having to do his job during preseason games. Or did we trade him for him? I'll take that.
Kaz loves those long preseason games.
God, it's like, hey man, like you could be in a worse spot than having to cover a preseason game. Let's not start bitching about it at halftime. It's just it's brutal, especially when you're tweeting to Jets fans who care about it. Like, what is constructive about bitching about having to watch a preseason game when guys are grinding out their construction jobs and stuff, and you're sitting in an AC having to watch a football game? Like, get over it.
Speaking of jobs, what a segue. This is why they pay me the big bucks, Joe Blewett. We're presented today by my friends at ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is going to help you as maniacs hire other as maniacs. You can try ZipRecruiter for free right now by going to ZipRecruiter.com/audio. The future of hiring, it's never been better. ZipRecruiter's latest tools and features help speed up the process to hire the right people for your roles, so you're going to save valuable time. ZipRecruiter's new advances, you can easily find and connect with qualified candidates in minutes. See a candidate you're really interested in, unlock their contact info instantly. Over 320,000 new resumes are added to ZipRecruiter monthly, which means you can reach more potential hires and fill roles sooner. Again, try it for free. ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Use ZipRecruiter, save time hiring. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/audio right now, you could try it for free. Again, ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Let's bring Mr. Blewett back on with us, and we will open up the phone lines right now and take plenty of your calls. First up today is none other than
First of all, I think it's hilarious, but I don't know what I've done to deserve such disrespect. I hate that moral victory shit. Yeah, I don't know who this guy Derek is, but usually when I show up in the chat the first time, I don't go insulting the host and the opinions of the other people who've been there every day. It's a little weird.
Also, can we acknowledge you doing this call in from Boy Green's home studio?
Zoinks. So I was just in the athletic comment section on this trade for this cornerback. What is the name again for this guy?
Hold on, StreamYard is bugging
it's
right
Jarvis
now.
Brownley, Jalen Brownley, or it's Brownley. I forget the first name. Yeah,
Jarvis Brownley Jr.
Yeah. So Titans fans are upset. So take from that what you will.
They're upset that the Jets acquired him. They liked him.
They liked him. They thought it was malpractice to let him go, and it was not just one guy; it was a couple of guys. So,
all right, I like that.
If you're looking for moral victories, now I'm living up to my billing.
That is what we do better than anyone.
We're not getting any of the real ones. So, I missed the beginning part of the show, but Joe, it seems to me like we were just missing guys, and part scheme, but part players is kind of what I'm getting from the bits and pieces I was able to see. Well,
yeah, it's collective. It's blown defenses, individual performances, Carter, Sauce, the edge rusher's not getting there. It's a conglomeration of just crappy play from the Jets. You can't really pin it on one person.
All right. They got to get this stuff together and get that run game to travel for Miami. We've got, whatever it is, 6 days now. And hopefully, Fields and JJ will be ready to go, because this is must win. I would hate to have to be calling into the show, to talk about, Beast Breakers trips to the store and like, what to do in like an off-season shopping list starting in October, and it's going to drive me absolutely freaking nuts.
Joe Blewett sent me a text after the game being like, I'm getting ready to start watching film on college QBs. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'll give it a few more weeks. Brutal, but maybe I'll text Jake with an update about Jarvis Brownley, because I plan on watching the next few days. So maybe a little bit of an update about who he is.
That's fine for Joe to do. He gets off on that stuff, but it's a little early for the rest of us. But
no, trust me, I do not get off on it. I don't want another quarterback dealing with a down year. He'll probably end up sucking. Like, I just want us to be good now. I do not get off on watching quarterbacks. It's going to be absolutely brutal to watch any quarterbacks again. It's just,
you're not ready to argue with people for 4 months on which quarterback we should take that will likely, no matter what we do, end up sucking anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just feels like there's no point of it anyway. So I'm just like speaking into a black hole. But here we are again. So let's win some games. I'm going to talk about it anyway. Realistically, like, they're not moving on with Fields regardless if they win 6 or 7 games. But at least delay it a little bit. Like, give me some offseason work. I don't want to start watching whoever in freaking September.
Yeah. So I stand corrected then. A bridge call today, Jake. Just two pieces of non-football business. Do you happen to know where we're sitting on the 19th at the Panthers game?
I do. In fact, I am going to send the tickets out pretty soon. I've been putting it off. I'm back from Tampa now, so I'm going to look into that. We are in section 129, Mr. Clifton. That is where all the Asmaniacs, all the 75 people who bought tickets to the event, will be sitting. And if anyone wants to join us, who was maybe a season ticket holder that already has tickets, we'll have info on the Tailgate Joe tailgate this week when Nick Shine's on with me tomorrow. So we're going to start to ramp up for that Panthers game on October 19th.
In my mind, I'm already there. My other piece of, show business, but not necessarily Jets business, is I was wondering if you could just send me the tracking link for Klecko, because it hasn't come yet.
Oh, absolutely. I'll shoot you an email.
I appreciate it, man. I'll talk
Ladies
to you
and gentlemen, the great Kyle Clifton checking in there. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Nick Shine Show says, Kyle's right. You have to put the time in here before insulting people like this. F you, Bill M. Nick Shine, well done.
Yeah.
Big Country says, sorry, trying to watch 2 shows at once. I have no service where I'm working, so trying to catch up on everything. All good, Big Country. It's just so funny that you somehow thought that the Jets signed Jordan Schultz, who I'm going to show you a picture of what Jordan Schultz looked like, and you're going to be like, yeah, that guy doesn't look like a football player.
Maybe just do one show at once, Big Country. So I don't know how much you're absorbing here. You're kind of scattered. Jordan Schultz. At first, like Dalton Schultz. Like, what are we doing here? But
what Schultz is this? Where is this? All right, here's Jordan Schultz. For those who don't know who he is, he's the guy that got into the fight at the combine with Ian Rappaport when we were doing our show from Indy. This is Jordan Schultz. He is not a Jet. He's an NFL reporter. There you go.
Maybe we traded him for one of our beat reporters. I'll trade a few of our guys for Jordan Schultz, even though I'm not like overly familiar with his work. But yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Do you want to do one more call, Joe, before I let you run?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm going to give you an experience unlike any other. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line right now for the first time ever with the Joe Blewett is none other than the Lane Train.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good.
Hey, Lane. Unmute your mic, Lane.
Do you hear me?
We hear you, Lane.
So, how are you?
Good, Lane.
Oh yeah, happy holiday. It's Rosh Hashanah.
Happy Rosh Hashanah to all the Jewish people who are tuned in, who are probably not tuned in right now. If it's
I had so much food. Like, I went to my cousin's house last night.
That's good.
I actually got a haircut also. Looks different now.
Joe, what do you think of Lane's haircut?
I'm gonna go top tier. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, Lane.
Thank you. The real reason why I called is the Jets just can't win games. I was watching it.
Really?
And yeah, they just couldn't win. I mean, what is wrong with that? Is just
They came close
just
though,
that
Lane. You
thing?
got to admit they did come close.
Do you think maybe going into week was it week 5 already?
Week 4.
Yeah, week 4 already. Wow. I think you know I think I'm thinking ahead. Yeah, so I mean, is it going to be easy for us to beat up on Miami? I don't know, because we got to face them now.
Now, Lane, think about it like this though: if you count moral victories, the Jets are tied for first place.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not really arguing about that. Just that, what is there like 3? I mean, I wish there were 3-0. They're 0-3 now, with
Yeah.
not even winning close. I thought they were going to win that game.
Hey, Lane, what was your reaction when Will McDonald blocked the field goal?
You want me to act it out?
Yeah. Act
Oh
out
my
Aaron
God.
Glenn dancing. Can you do that?
Yeah. Yeah, he was like dancing. Yeah, I mean that video, like I saw it was like, you know what? Yeah, it was funny, but I mean they would have would have been better if they would have like pulled it out.
I
Do you
agree,
like
Lane.
yeah, but how do you like the Bucs uniforms? They looked old, didn't they? With the white and orange trim.
Joe, how did you like the Bucs uniforms?
The creamsicles, I thought they were pretty good. Lane, what do you think about the Dolphins game? What's your prediction for the score for this upcoming one? What do you think's gonna happen here?
They're gonna win high. I think the Jets are gonna win 47-39. Like I hope.
47-39. That's a high scoring game, Lane.
Yeah. Oh. And yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that if you gotta like move, move the ball down the like field and stuff.
Speaking of Fields, do you think Justin Fields should play quarterback for the Jets Sunday, or should they stay with Tyrod?
Is he injured?
He's concussed right now, but he could be
Yeah.
back.
No, I mean you would have to start Justin Fields in the game because I don't want to take a risk of them putting in Tyrone Taylor.
Interesting. So you think there's a risk with Tyrod?
Honestly, there's actually 2 Tyrone Taylors. I mean, because one is on the Mets also, and now he's injured.
You mean Tyrone Taylor?
Tyrone.
Yeah. Yeah, but on the other hand, I mean, it's getting really close in the wild card games to figure out who will make it for the tie breaking.
Hey, Lane, how's your mom doing?
It's been going hard for her actually right now. Believe it or not, because I went yesterday. I came home at was 12 something, and she was very nervous about
Tell her that
was.
we say hello and we hope she's okay. All right.
Yeah, and yeah, because it was good last night, but I was very tired when I got home, so I had to go sleep. Yeah, it's been hard for her, but it happens. And
well, hang in there, Lane. All right,
yeah,
we'll talk to you soon. Okay. All right, buddy.
Yeah. So thank you for taking my call, and go Jets.
Anytime, Lane.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
Joe, you made it through your first ever Lane Train experience.
Yeah, I'm adjusting to all the new callers with Beast and Lane, and I'm excited to meet some more over the next 15, 16 weeks, however long we do the reviews. But I learned in the chat, somebody's like, you can't criticize Lane. How dare you correct him with Tyrod versus Tyrone Taylor? So I guess just like Bill M or whatever, I got to put some more time in before I can criticize one of your own. So I learned my lesson. I apologize, chat.
Joe, you crushed it as usual. You somehow make these segments of pain tolerable, and we learn a lot, which is the most important thing. So really appreciate you hopping on as always. Thanks for repping the G5 shirt as well. I'm glad it fits nicely on you, and we'll do it again next week.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I'll send you a text about our new Brownley, not Jason, but I believe it's his cousin now. So I'll text you about that, and then I'll talk to you next Wednesday or whatever. We'll figure out the day, I guess, in terms of the Monday night game.
We will figure it out. Sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Blewett, check out his work, jetsxfactor.com. Follow him on X as well. And when he gives me the scouting report on the corner the Jets added today, I'll relay that to all you guys on the show. Quick recap before we get back to your calls here. Quincy Williams and Marcelino McCrary Ball placed on injured reserve. They're out a minimum of 4 weeks. Quincy's injury is reportedly not season-ending, but he's going to miss at least 4 games. So that's a big blow. Jarvis Brownley Jr. is the corner they added from the Titans today. They basically traded a 6th-round pick to get him. I think it's a good move. I like the fact that Titans fans are unhappy with it because that means this guy's got some upside. Mark Robinson, they poached him from the Patriots practice squad. He's a linebacker. And they also added linebacker Ben Neiman to the practice squad. He's played 103 career games. So some moves there for the New York Jets. On that note, quick reminder for those of you who missed the announcement, we are giving away a dealer's choice Jets jersey of your choosing at the end of the show. We got the Williams Bros, Jermaine, Sauce, Garrett, Brees, and Justin Fields. So gift the channel membership for your chance to win. And our weekly prizes, we did our raffle this morning. Congrats again to our 3 winners. That was Luppy, Derek, and Damian, who won the 3 signed footballs. This week on the show, we're giving away the following 3 prizes. Signed jersey by each member of the Sack Exchange. Bart Scott, Can't Wait inscription jersey, and a CJ Mosley signed jersey. So now everyone is caught up. Let's get to more of your super chats and your calls. And let's say hello first up this segment to JJ. Hello, JJ.
I wish I was calling in a better mood. This is not going to be a very happy-go-lucky call. I got to admit it, man. Listen, I was wrong about Aaron Glenn. I never was high on him to begin with, but, once they picked him, I said, all right, let's rock with him. He can't possibly be worse than Salah, and I feel like it's plug and play. They just got rid of Salah and replaced him with an exact replica. When you watch coach's press conference, it tells you a lot about their style of coaching, but it also tells you a lot about them as a person, and it tells you what's going on in those locker rooms. There's no way that a guy loses a football game and then he goes into a press conference and he talks the way that Aaron Glenn was talking, as if like we the fans did something to him, or like we're not the same old Jets. I hate hearing that, or whatever. You haven't done anything to prove that you aren't. If anything, you look more like the same old Jets than anybody. I'm gonna admit it, man. He ain't our coach. He ain't our coach.
How do you know that 3 games in, though?
Because look at the way we're losing. That's how.
But that doesn't mean that they can't turn it around. It means 3 games in, he hasn't been able to do it just yet.
You had a whole off-season program to fix the tackling for a football team. You haven't. You had a whole off-season program to fix the penalties.
It's been 3 games, though, JJ.
Yeah, and the problem doesn't look like it's getting fixed week to week. Okay, so if it's been 3 games and every week, it's like a little bit less tackling mistakes. No, it's just the same. The coverage is getting blown.
He also just played with his backup quarterback on Sunday. Justin Fields, your guy going in the Ring of Honor, was amazing week 1, and then he was putrid week 2. We haven't heard from you since that. So, I mean, is that on Glenn that Fields was so bad in the second game? Like, we're 3 games in, man. I agree with you. The same old Jets comment I think is stupid, but ultimately what he says at the press conference will not determine how he is as a coach if he wins games. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, but he hasn't won. He's 0-3, and he's probably about to be 0-4. There's nothing.
Don't say probably. Let's see if he gets.
Let me ask you: Are you confident that we'll win this game coming up? Because you're talking to me like I'm crazy. So let me ask you: are you confident we'll win this game?
I'm not confident, but I'm also not going to say. You're saying definitively that he's not the right coach. That he's Salah. That he's worse than Salah. You can't say that.
No, I never said that. I never said he's worse than Salah. I said he's the same thing as Salah.
You can't say that, though. It's too soon to say that.
Okay, we'll see.
What was Dan Campbell's record after midway through his second year, even? You watched that game last night without Aaron Glenn, without Ben Johnson, without Tanner Engstrand, all the other assistant coaches that got poached from Detroit. They just went on the road and beat the Ravens.
It was, but I was never a person who said, "Oh, the Detroit Lions are only winning because of Aaron Glenn or because of Ben Johnson." I thought it was stupid that people thought that Ben Johnson was the reason that they were having all those success. It's a combination of the head coach and the coordinators, and it looks like the person who put the system in place in Detroit was Dan Campbell, not Ben Johnson. It looks like it was his system that they were running, and Ben Johnson just sprinkled some things on top of it. Dan Campbell is the leader of that team. The defense in Detroit never was good. It never was good. They like so.
Is Justin Fields still going to the Ring of Honor, JJ? Because if he is, guess who's going to win a lot of games? Aaron Glenn.
No, he might not go to the Ring of Honor with Aaron Glenn at the helm of it. But I think Justin Fields still has a chance to be a really good football player. For us.
So if that's the case, I promise you they're going to win some football games when you look at their upcoming schedule.
Okay. I never
Based on your own logic. I don't think Justin Fields is going to the Ring of Honor.
Time out. Let's backtrack a little bit. Do I think this football team still can make the playoffs and will make the playoffs? Yes. Do I think that means Aaron Glenn is the right coach? Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
How do your hamstrings feel? How do your hamstrings feel? You think they're going to still make the playoffs, and you have the audacity to say that 3 games in, the head coach, you already know he's not any good? Are you nuts?
Is Brian Daboll a good coach? Is Brian Daboll a good head football coach?
No, that is not the same thing.
That is not the same thing. Did he make the playoffs in his first year?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay, man. So I can say Aaron Glenn is not a good head coach, and he still might make the playoffs.
So because you determined all this after 3 games that not only Aaron Glenn is not a good head coach, but he's still going to make the playoffs and end the longest playoff drought in professional sports. If that happens, JJ, Aaron Glenn is the coach of the year in the NFL this season.
If he goes 9-8, I don't think that makes him.
If he goes 9-8 and the Jets end the longest playoff drought in the NFL, if he's not winning the award, he's finishing in the top 3.
Okay, well, I think Brian Daboll won Coach of the Year too.
He
doesn't make them. It doesn't make a difference. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you look around the league is terrible this year. How many teams are 0-3 right now? How many teams?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That does matter because you just need to get 9-8 to make it into the.
You're acting like 9-8 is some easy thing to do. It would mean they're incredibly well coached that they come back from 0-3 to win 9 games and make the playoffs. Your assessment is Aaron Glenn is already a bad coach, but then you still think they're going to make the playoffs. You can't make the playoffs and not be a good coach, at least in year 1. I think Daboll's regressed. I think the league is caught up to his offensive innovation, and other than Josh Allen, his record with quarterbacks is terrible. But it's not the same thing. Adam Gase made the playoffs his first year. Coaches sometimes have good years, and then they died down. But if Aaron Glenn, objectively speaking, got the Jets to the playoffs, okay, maybe long term he's not going to be the guy that ends the Super Bowl drought. But if he got the Jets to the playoffs, that's not nothing. That would be a big deal for this franchise.
Okay, well, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't think he's going to be the long-term solution at head coach.
But how could you determine that 3 games in? That's what I'm saying to you.
I'm trying to tell you. I can tell you. If you want to know, I'll tell you. The way
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now the JJ show. JJ, take it away.
I don't want it to be the JJ show, but I'm trying to tell you. After watching 3 football games under this head coach, I haven't seen much of a difference versus what I saw last year. You yourself, Jake, has said the same thing on countless occasions. When I've watched the show, you say it does look like the same old Jets. It doesn't look any different than Robert Saleh. You guys last week were posting a picture of a mashup of Robert Saleh and Aaron Glenn. But then when JJ says it, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's just because it's coming from me that you guys are disagreeing. If it was anybody else, you guys would agree. But
no. That's not what's happening here, JJ. Once again, your ability to move the goalpost is remarkable. Through 3 games, they have not been a well-coached team. I think that is a fair criticism of Aaron Glenn. But you don't see the walking contradiction when you're saying that they're still going to make the playoffs and go 9-8, but you've already determined that this head coach is not any good? How? How could you not understand why the chat's going crazy right now? It's an asinine opinion.
Because Brian Daboll did it. Adam Gase did it. What's the guy's was it Ben McAdoo with the Giants? He did it.
Yes.
Was it Ben McAdoo?
But you're just you can't
I can go down the list.
So you're just guessing. It's just a feeling you have because it doesn't add up.
It is a feeling. It's a feeling.
That's not the norm.
It's a feeling. It is a feeling.
Okay,
It's a feeling
well, I'll tell you
that
what,
I have
JJ.
that the
I
same
hope
scenario
you're
is
right.
going to play out.
I hope you're right. I hope the Jets end their playoff drought in year 1 with Glenn, and I will gladly take my chances on what year 2, 3, and beyond look like. Or maybe Aaron Glenn could be what Sean McDermott was. He ended a 17-year playoff drought in Buffalo. Then what did they do this next year? They won 6 games. But you know why? Because they started a rookie in Josh Allen, who they traded up for. He got growing pains, and then by 2019, they were in the playoffs, and they've been in the playoffs every year since. Maybe Aaron Glenn's not Brian Dable. Maybe in your crazy scenario here, he's Sean McDermott. Wouldn't that be great, JJ? We all win in that scenario. Woohoo!
Can I ask a question?
Please, the floor is yours.
Am I allowed to have opinion on a football team that I root for?
Of course you are. You're entitled to your opinion. I just don't have to agree with it.
Okay. So it's fine that you don't agree with it, but you and the rest of you guys are trying to make it seem as if what I'm saying is so asinine. And then you say, how do I know that? You're basing this off of a feeling. Yes. The feeling that I have towards this head coach after 3 games is that he might be able to get us to a 9-8 wild card record, but long term, he's not the solution. Which after 3 games, a lot of you are looking at Justin Fields and saying, hey, he might win us a game or 2, but long term, he's not the solution, which is perfectly fine for you guys to feel that. It's perfectly fine for me to watch what I'm watching and say, hey, listen, this guy ain't it. No one's backpedaling. So I'm not backpedaling. I'll say exactly what I said again. I don't think Aaron Glenn is the right guy for the job. I don't think he's going to be a good head coach long-term in this league. After 3 games and a couple of press conferences, that's the conclusion that I've came to. At the end of the day, if you guys don't agree with me, I don't care, because you guys were the same ones who wanted to keep Robert Saleh and keep Joe Douglas. How did that work out for you? So a bunch of you idiots who don't know anything about football are going to sit here and try to make it seem like what I'm saying is crazy, when last week you guys just put a picture of Robert Saleh and Aaron Glenn mashed up in the face.
As a joke to say that was a Saleh-like performance or an Oberg-like performance against the Bills. No one's saying that Glenn Saleh, we're saying they've been poorly coached through 3 games, which I think is fair. But that
exactly. Poorly coached through 3 games.
You're picking them to go to the playoffs still. If you said
everyone is 0-3.
If your take was, let me help you, all right? Let me craft your take for you. Because if you said this, I'd say, you know what? That's fair. If you said 3 games in, I don't think Aaron Glenn's the guy. This team's going nowhere with him. I'd say I think it's a little early, but I get it because it has looked terrible through 3 games. I've been very disappointed with the coaching so far. If that was your opinion, I'd say it's too early, but I get it. Your take is that Aaron Glenn's bad, but he's still somehow good enough to end a 15-year playoff drought. That doesn't make any sense.
Let me say one last thing. The reason I'm saying we can still make the playoffs is because if you look around the league, there are a bunch of 1-2 teams, a bunch of 0-3 teams. As you look around the league, you're seeing anybody can pretty much get beat.
Look, JJ, this was a lot of fun. All right. We said a lot. We yelled a lot. But Adam has had enough. He has paid $50 to send you to the
money.
Now look what you've done, JJ. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it. JJ's had a lot of takes. That is an all-timer. So to recap, 3 games in, he's already determined Aaron Glenn's a bad coach, but he still thinks the Jets are going to go 9-8 and be a wild card team. I hope he's right. Birkinator says JJ's setting himself up for being right on both sides, so he could say I told you so either way. Well done. Brian Glick says, what does a lifetime ban cost? JJ's part of the family, so there's no price on that. But email me anyway, Brian, and I'll listen in. I'm not doing my job if I don't at least listen to what he's going to offer. I'm not going to accept it. Or maybe I will. Mello Washington has gifted a channel membership. He's in the raffle. By the way, Adam, you're in the raffle for 10 coming up by downing JJ there. Hey, JJ, in the hole, they have candy canes, so don't worry. We'll get you set up with one. Jets to the Moon says, JJ, Glenn can win a Super Bowl with the Jets, but would still be a bad coach. There's certain types of fans that are like this. JJ's actually not one because he was pretty positive on the team coming into the year. But like, I'll give you an example. Like Alan, who claims to be a Jet fan, if God willing, we're all around to see a Jet Super Bowl, and I'm still hopefully doing the show when that happens. The Jets could win the Super Bowl 35-31, and Alan's first call on the show would be to discuss the defense allowing 31 points in the game. Not the Jets winning their first Super Bowl since before the moon landing, which is real, Gary. It would be to discuss the defense allowing too many points. That's the type of fan. I use the term fan loosely with Alan. It's the type of fan that he is. Anyway, more of your calls. Let's get Porked. Pork, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Jake. I'm driving here in Jackson, Mississippi, down in the Delta. I'm just still pissed off about the other day.
Uh-oh. Jackson, Mississippi has Ricky and Y Wi-Fi. I see. Let's continue. The hamburger's next. Hey, Burger.
What's up, Jake? Yo, JJ had me at the beginning. I was like, okay, I agree with some of his points. And then he hit us with the making the playoffs thing. And I couldn't relate. I get it. Like, I feel like, do I think that he can never be a good coach? No. Do I ever? But as of right now, my judgment on him is he's not the guy. It's just right now, can he change my mind? Absolutely. But watching that tape and watching a lot of the breakdowns that Joe put on really, really, really is discouraging. I mean, it's discouraging on like every front of the team. And I think right now, if it doesn't get better, I think Aaron Glenn's going to get lost because it's going to be overbearing because eventually people that are like, oh, give him a chance. You lose 2 more games, which I believe, listen, and I stand by this. I think 2 wins. If they don't get it together, 2 wins is real quick in their history because it in their future. It's just gonna keep snowballing, man. I don't see any changes. We have back-to-back weeks of garbage. It's getting worse, and now we're starting to lose players. Now we're starting to I don't
There's
know,
still
man.
so many games left, though, man. 2 games is so.
I understand, dude. I get it. I get all that.
Do you remember the 2020 team? That team was horrific. This team, as bad as they have played at times, there is so much more talent on this team than that team. They're not going to win 2 games.
I get it. Trust me, dude. Listen, you've heard me for now over a year and last year and how much I believed and I wrote it all the way until we pretty much got to the Steelers game. I like to believe in this team, but there's a little voice in my head that a lot of times I ignore. And I continue to go and I root and I believe, hopelessly believing. I'm starting to listen to that voice, and it's taken 2 years with this Aaron Rodgers and all the shit that happened that I just, that little voice that's in back of my head, I got to start listening to it because it saves me some frustration. I see it on the field. Listen, if we win next week, great. I'm going to say, hey, this is much better. Okay, let's see Aaron Glenn out for a little while as we go. But just like every other fan that calls in, we are all week to week, just like this football team is, just like this NFL is. I mean, your thoughts on the team can change in a week or 2 weeks, but right now, man, I feel
You're
like
not 2-win bad, man. Relax. All right.
Well, that's Jake. What I'm looking at is 2-win bad team. I mean, there's nothing there that's showing us that they can be better, and we have a lot of gaps and holes that we can't fill right now. But I don't know. I get it. I want to err on the side of pessimist this year rather than optimist. It's very, very rare that I do that. I'm usually positive about a lot of things, but I can't do what I've done for like the last 2 years. It's been rough. But for all my Met fans out there, man, let's go Mets tonight. Let's get a win tonight.
The Mets are killing you. That's why you're so negative about it.
But that's added to it. Oh, without a doubt, bro. My wife just grabbed more playoff tickets. I think I just signed the curse. We just signed the curse off. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm praying. I need some happiness. I need some sport happiness. So let's go Pirates. We need the Pirates to whoop up tonight and get some wins, and we need to win ourselves. So, but enjoy your night, everybody. JJ, man, I don't know what you're thinking with that take. Parts of it were good, but just listen to yourself after you get out of the hall. Listen to yourself. Everybody have a great night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the hamburger checking in. I'd take my JJ, man. That was well done, sir. A true takesman. More of your calls. We got some legends on the line that we still must get to. Plus, we're going to do a jersey raffle coming up. Pick your jersey of the 7 players that we have listed. Up next on the Gusbuster Hotline is
Quinnen gets the sack. Oh, Baker goes down.
Chelsea's not going to dance until we get some wins. So we got to hope we get some wins together. I wanted to ask you how many losses until we get the paper bag emoji back?
man, they start 0-4. They lose to the Dolphins. We'll bring the paper bag emoji back.
All right. I almost walked into work with the paper bag on because I was getting one of my friends that I work with he's from Tampa Bay. He's a huge Bucs fan, and he was like, "We gave you that game, but you're the Jets, so we still won." I was like, "Oh God."
He's not wrong.
I know that line killed me. But I just hope that we win Monday night because 0-4, then it's the nail in the coffin. If it's 1-3, it's not the nail in the coffin, but it's still an uphill battle. But 0-4, the nail it really isn't in the coffin. So I hope we win, and then we can have some positivity because I'm tired of seasons ending a month in. Tired of it.
It's true. It's tough, man. There's no other way around it. But we're all in this together, PBM. And don't worry, JJ says that we might have a bad coach, but we're still going to go to the playoffs. So
I don't know.
Be all right.
I can't even. Whatever. I hope we make the playoffs.
Also, JJ, how do you not thank Big Fella during your call that he donated the signed Fields jersey to you? You're going to wear that in London? Get a frame. Don't be wearing a signed Fields jersey in London. Come on, JJ.
But what Sabo said earlier about Quincy being out might help the linebackers. How I heard it, and then I was rehabbing, so I didn't really get that. Why would that be?
He was saying, I don't want to misquote him. He was essentially saying that Quincy's very wild, and while he'll make really big plays, there's also been a lot of misses that have contributed to him. So maybe they'll play more in structure. I don't think he was saying they're a better team without Quincy. I think he just said it might force these guys to be really fundamentally signed.
Gotcha. All right. Well, hopefully we can stop Miami. They're a fast team, so we'll see what happens. Put Stevens at safety and AZ to start at corner. Come on, do it, AG. Do it. Please do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, purple belt Mike, everyone. Hang in there, Mike. It's going to be okay.
Quinnen gets the sack. Oh, Baker goes down.
We need a lot of Quinnen sacks on Monday Night Football. More of your calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is this guy in Vermont.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Hi, Jay. It was hilarious, huh? We're back, huh? We got JJ and you arguing. Isn't that awesome?
Oh, we're back, Bob. It felt like old times.
I couldn't stop laughing. I love JJ. You guys are hilarious when you get into it, I'm telling you.
JJ, he's one of my favorite people to argue about the Jets with because he genuinely believes what he's saying, which I think makes it so fun.
I love JJ. He's a riot. He comes to my show sometimes. He's a riot. I want him to come every time. He's busy probably at the time when I have.
Whoa. Stop talking about coming here. It's a family show.
Oh, okay. So I did sign up for the Price Chopper up the road. Okay. There's 2 jobs, deli, and also maintenance, like cleaning the floors. Probably J-O-B, job. Yeah, that's right up the road. I did that. Well, you go on Indeed, but you have to go on the Price Choppers. What you call it?
Do you believe in your ability to get this job, Bobby? Because you got to believe it. You got to manifest positive energy.
Yeah, I've been praying too. I'm doing a lot of praying too. So So the Jets better learn how to tackle. That's all I'm saying. They got to learn how to tackle. You know that? It's unbelievable. And I told you about Mikey, right? Already, what he did.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a miracle. He does that all the time. He'll say something and it does happen, you know. So, yeah. So I got up a little late this morning because I had a show late. I had a 4-hour show last night, over 4 hours. They wanted me to do more. I said, no, I'm getting tired. 57 years old, you know. I'm not a young chicken.
You're an old fart.
I am an old fart. AJ, can you do me a favor? Can you hold on? Can you hold on the tickets for us?
Yes.
Okay, that worked fine when we came down the last time you took care of us.
I'll hold on to the tickets for you.
Because I'm, you know, and then we need to bring our phones, right?
I would recommend if you're going to travel from Vermont to East Rutherford, New Jersey, you do bring your cell phone.
Yeah, and then you put it on my phone, right? Or how?
Someone will put it on your phone. I don't want to get near you.
Why not?
You might stink.
Oh, I'm gonna take a shower. I'm gonna be
okay.
Nice.
Whoa.
I'm gonna lather up.
Hold on.
Calm your freaky down.
I know. I had to play that yesterday too. Hey, you know what? Remember that girl who comes on Friday on your
girl
show?
who comes on? Yes, Ariel Nash.
Would she take calls or no? You don't think?
Calm your freaky down.
I just want to say hi. You know.
You want to talk to a woman? Hey, Raven, say hi to Bobby.
Oh, hi, Raven.
Hey, and my dad's here.
And Raven's dad.
Yeah, Jake. He's giving me the kibosh, so bring us back on soon.
Hey, Dad,
we'll bring you back.
Yeah, she's a nice lady, isn't she?
All right, I'm looking out for you, Bob. Can I go now?
She's a passionate woman for the Jets fans. Yeah, so hopefully the Yankees win too tonight. You know.
Oh, you know I like the Yankees and the Jets. Can't believe Jake and Rogers met. I'm more than just a hat on Bobby.
There you go, Bob. All right, what a call. We've had a vintage JJ and a vintage Bobby Midnight call on this program here. Dana in the house. Throw me in, please. 3-5 at worst, going into a win at Cincy. Then the bye. Just stay alive until Halloween. There's winnable games here. But they don't win any games right now. So they have to actually win the winnable games, and then we could talk. I got a text from someone yesterday. Oh, CeeDee Lamb's not going to play when the Jets play. Who cares if CeeDee Lamb's not going to play against the Jets right now? It doesn't matter. The Jets can't do anything right. They have to figure out their own stuff. You just saw the film breakdown. They got to go out there and they have to handle their bleep first, and then we could talk. JJ, Super Chat. I love Big Fella. Thank you again. Number 2, as Jets fans, we all should still have hope we can make the playoffs. Number 3, AG looks bad so far. Explain where I'm wrong. You're wrong because you said you've already determined that he's Salah, that he's not a good coach. That there's no way he can improve after 3 bad games. That's where you're wrong. And your take doesn't make sense because you're saying that he's not going to be a good coach no matter what. 3 games and you determine that. And you somehow this year, though, have the Jets making the playoffs. Your take would not be bad. It'd be, I think, premature, but you might end up being right given the history of this woebegone franchise. If you said 3 games in, I've seen enough. Aaron Glenn's not the guy. We're going to suck no matter what. If that was your take, I'd say it's too early for that, but at least there's logic to it. You lose everyone when you've already determined they're still going to make the playoffs after starting 0-3, and then the head coach is still bad. Your ability to move the goalpost and try and win an argument is hilarious. After what Raven just had to experience, we will buy her a little more time before we go to her. And we'll check in right now with a man who they call around these parts the Beast. See, what Beast doesn't understand is every time he plays his guitar, it's never plugged in, so we never hear it. Okay, Beast, whenever you're done, trying to do a show here. You either stop playing guitar or I'm sending you to Azkaban.
Pew, pew, pew. Abracadoodle. Pew, pew, pew. Abracadoodle.
Moron. Raven, I tried. You're up next. Hello, Raven.
Hey, Jake. As I said, this is my dad.
Hello, Dad.
Long time, first time.
Yeah. All of this is his fault.
That's how it was for me as well. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Shea Stadium days.
Yeah. My grandpa was a season ticket holder at Shea.
Yeah.
Wasn't Poppy?
Yeah,
also?
my dad was season
Yeah,
tickets.
that's my grandpa. May
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
We'd sit up in the rafters up in the nosebleeds. I mean, Shea was amazing. I learned quite an extensive amount of English, new words I never knew before.
I'm sure.
And I remember one time someone somehow snuck a mini keg. I don't even know if they snuck it in, but they brought a mini keg up in there. We were drinking beers at the in the 300 section, or maybe it was 400 section.
I mean, wow, that was the 60s and the 70s, man. Different time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been home for the past few days, and like I said, this is all his fault. So I figured, I should bring him on, see what you have to say about the current state of the Jets, boss.
I mean, it's you go to the stadium and it's it's cursed. The stadium's freaking cursed. I think that's what it is. And
the air conditioner.
So I just don't know if it's them or it's just like black magic, dark magic all of a sudden just descends upon the place, because we all start with the right intentions. Everyone's pumped. Every game we're all pumped, ready to go. Yeah, we're going to get this one. And I mean, Raven loves football, and she's like, they don't tackle. And I know your last guest was like, how did they tackle? And I'm like, I mean, I played football in high school. We learned how to tackle. And I mean, maybe they just don't, I don't know, maybe they're afraid, maybe they're scared.
I mean, my biggest thing from last week that I just keep returning to is how you leave such a potent pass offense that wide open, just logically for me. That's just really bad game planning, in my opinion.
Bad coaching. That's concerning. And that's why I hope it gets better. But 3 games in, I've been very unimpressed with what we have seen.
But the players play the game. The coaches don't play the game. The players play the game.
True. It's the players too. The players aren't blameless, but I look at the defensive talent they have, and they shouldn't be allowing 30 plus in all these games.
It's also, I think, just a lot of it is also a depth issue. I think as great of a job as Moogie did filling certain holes within this roster, I just don't think this is a very complete roster in general, especially with what we're seeing in the secondary. That's the biggest the 2 biggest sticking points for me as it stands in this current moment is the secondary, and then not having a wide receiver 2.
I think the edge depth is a big problem too. That's why Clemens is playing so much. And that was my choice, by the way. They chose to carry Clemens. They chose to not sign another defensive end. They chose to go into the year with Josh Reynolds or Alan Lazard or Tyler Johnson as the second receiver next to Garrett. These are things that they chose to do. So they can't blame Saleh, Douglas, or the previous regime for that.
See, and I understand what you're saying, Jake, but I do think it's a bit revisionist history to not remind ourselves that the market for a wide receiver 2, and let's specifically look at our safeties, was pretty bone dry going into this season.
They could have signed DeAndre Hopkins. They could have signed Keenan Allen. They could have signed one of these veterans. I mean, there were guys. They had cap space. It's a money league. You spend money, you get somebody. I mean, they could have made a trade.
Would DeAndre have gone to the Jets?
DeAndre Hopkins?
Yeah. I mean, he signed with the Ravens on a 1-year deal for I think it's $7 million, maybe less. If the Jets gave him 10, I think he would have went to the team that paid him the most.
Yeah, at this point in D-Hop's career, probably the team that paid him the most.
Okay.
Pops, yeah.
That's just an example. I mean, they also had Devontae Adams, who they got rid of. They didn't technically have to do that either, but they did.
Could they have kept him?
I could have. I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted to be here if Rodgers wasn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Exactly.
Alan Lazard is still here. They kept him. Why couldn't they keep Devontae? Like, there's. My point is, there were a litany of things they could have done to address receiver and not put themselves in a spot where if Garrett Wilson sprains an ankle and is out 2 to 4 weeks, like CeeDee Lamb now is, I don't think the Jets are going to be able to complete a pass with how bad their weapons are.
No. I mean, you're not. No, I mean, no. You bring up some good points, Jake. Listen, it's very rare that and you can ask him. It's very rare that I'll say to someone else, "Oh, you know what? You might be right."
We'll take it, Raven. Love it.
I feel like they want to win. I feel like they get on the field and they want to win, but then they play like they don't want to win, or
they're scared.
They didn't play for 3 quarters on Sunday. They played a spirited 4th quarter, but it's too little, too late.
I mean, that blocked field goal was insane, and you have a 1-point lead. And then how do you blow it? Like
because they're the Jets. Because
Yeah.
they're the Jets. I knew they were going to blow it. It's so funny, Jake. So he's with my grandma. My grandma, she doesn't really watch football. My grandpa, he's a baseball guy, not a football guy. And like I call my dad after we through the game, and we're both just like, yup. And my grandma, she's like, you're kidding. No way. And I'm like,
we watched.
And we're like, this is the least surprising thing of the game, Jake, that they blew the comeback.
But I feel like as a professional athlete, like you got this insane, amazing break. I mean, because to block that kick obviously was
That was some Troy Polamalu shit.
Yeah. How does the defense let the offense down? How does that happen? And okay, so what happens in the locker room? What happens in the locker room, at the end of that game, where the defense just let them march down the field? How does anybody know? I can't even imagine.
I'm sure they're down. That's why I think Glenn in his press conference tried to be positive.
But it's the coach saying, okay, we're running laps now. We're doing.
No, he's not going to take that approach to them. He tried to highlight the positives, and then they'll correct the negatives this week. But he loses the fans when he tries to play that we're not the same old Jets. You can't say that till you win. I mean, that's you don't want to go down that path.
The crazy thing is that when we were at the stadium 2 weeks ago, and it was 90 degrees. We were just sitting there getting baked. I mean, we were definitely baked, but we were getting baked, and the fans were as much as the fans were just saying sell the team. They were all sort of getting into that chant. They all as the game ended, they were like, see you in 2 weeks. See you in 2 weeks. So they were all coming back, which was I was like, okay.
And that's the mental illness of being a Jets fan.
There's a lot of that. I'll tell you what, we need your dad to call in more though, Raven.
I'll tell him. Yeah, Dad, you got to come back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I love it. Well
Have
done,
a good one.
ladies and gentlemen. Raven and Raven's dad making their debut on the show. I'm getting a message from Beast in the chat. I'm ready. Beast, I swear if you blow this could be the end for you.
I am not a meatball.
Stop playing the guitar.
Hey, little master puppet, all right?
Stop playing the guitar. We don't care, and we can't even hear it.
Master. Bimbo 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 ba bimbo ba bimbo ba bimbo 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 ba.
Unbelievable. All right, last couple calls here, and then we will do the raffle. Get close to your cameras. Get close to your screen. If you're watching this on your TV right now, smash your face into the TV.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, David.
Once a Jet, always a Jet. Yesterday, I went over to my brother's house to pick up my dog and my car, and I couldn't go in because his resistance is a little low right now, and I'm still not feeling well. But anyway, he said the Jets almost won. I said almost don't count, and he said but they played well, and I said no, they didn't.
They definitely did not play well.
yeah, they're good Tampa fans, So anyway, the point I want to make is, so I'm down in the dumps for a couple of days, and yesterday, it's like there's no way they're going to be able to beat the Dolphins, because I remember last year seeing McDaniel's play calling and everything, and he's pretty good at what he does that way. And today, I'm feeling different. I'm a Jet fan, and there's only 17 games in the season, and we're Jet fans, and we got to savor the team, and But besides all that, and hearing you experts analyze everything, the players, the coach, and all that kind of stuff, I'm certainly not ready to give up on Aaron Glenn. That's for sure.
Yeah, 3 games in. Let's see what he could do to make some adjustments, and then I don't know. How about this for a concept? Win a football game against a team that is on their level. It's in their weight class.
Yeah, that's it, Jake. Yeah, you know what? You got to walk before you run. Let's go from ground zero and let's win our first football game.
I got my Iron UJ. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
All right, last chance to enter the raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, we're giving away a Jets jersey of your choosing. Super chat from Mark. Just tuning in. Due to work meetings, has there been any talk about Glenn moving the coordinators up to the box for a different perspective? There's been no talk of that. But Glenn, to be fair, has not spoken since yesterday. He'll talk tomorrow. I don't think that's the problem. But if Wilkes thinks he needs to go up to the booth to have a better chance, then okay. There's a guy on the line who's going by the name Fat Bastard. He's up next on our show. Oh, it's Beast. You call yourself Fat Bastard now?
Hold on.
You go by the name Fat Bastard?
I feel good. I haven't felt that good in a while. Woo!
What did you do?
Yeah, that song, that Hard Life to Love, that song is too freaking awesome. I'll tell you, Troy Martin, Tony Amani are 2 of the baddest dudes on the planet. When you put Tony Amani on guitars and you put Troy Martin on the vocals, you got nobody gives a shit.
Please, thank you. Pork, are you there? I think Pork. Thank you, Pork.
I want to make sure we protect the prize that B-Man won. Look at this thing. And he's wearing the Blitz jersey. You kidding me? Come on, B-Man. Help him out a little bit. Best we can do with B-Man.
Captain Puerto Rico, away.
These last couple calls have been absolutely horrendous. Ladies and gentlemen, I tried. But now, it's time for a raffle.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
On a side note, I hope Pork's okay because it sounded like he was in a hurricane. What? I can't worry about that right now. I have a jersey to give away, damn it. If you win, email me, asmanjake@gmail.com. Your name, your address, the player you want the jersey in, the size and the color. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck to everyone. There could be one winner. Maybe it's you. If you don't win, you're automatically entered in our weekly raffle, which will be next Tuesday morning on the first show like it was earlier today for Raffle 41. Good luck to all. The winner is Adam is too cool. He put JJ in the hole, and he gets rewarded because he just won a Jets jersey of his choosing. Hit the Jet chant for Adam. Adam, congratulations. You are a real winner. Beast, what do you have to say to Adam?
Nobody gives a shit.
Okay, that does it for our show. We are back tomorrow. Thank you to the great Joe Blewett for an excellent film breakdown. Thank you to everyone who called in, everyone who super chatted, everyone who's watching live or after the fact. Reminder to like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can find our show in podcast form. If you didn't already know that, just search Jake Asman Show on Apple or Spotify, and it will be there for you. If you want the shirt that Joe Blewett was wearing, jakeasman.com/shop, and you could buy it for yourself. Everyone have a good night. Enjoy some Tuesday, non-football day. I mean, it's weird. Like, my whole schedule now is like, do we have a game tonight? No. Okay, it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday because then you got games every other day. On that note, have a good one, folks. I will talk to you soon, and I'll leave you with a clip that hasn't been played in a while, but it feels like it's something that should be played on a day like today. Again, thanks for watching. Go Jets.
The biggest mistake they made is not firing this whole crew of shitheads before the season started. The coaches can't make decisions. They don't correct anything. I mean, this is a joke.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.